24 people have died and tens of thousands have been evacuated in South Korea in what authorities are calling the worst wildfires in the country's recent history. Deaths include that of a 73-year-old pilot in a helicopter that crashed this afternoon. Air operations are suspended, at least for the moment. The country is at its highest crisis level for forest fires, with Acting President Han Duck-soo vowing an all-out effort to contain the infernos, now on their 6th day. Several temples considered heritage sites have been reduced to ashes. Curators have rushed to save what they can of these national treasures. Meanwhile, in Japan, firefighters also battling blazes that have spread across 3 western prefectures. Thousands have been issued evacuation orders in Imabari and Okayama cities. 4 helicopters have also been dispatched to Miyazaki city after a new fire erupted on Tuesday. And we return to South Korea. Lim Yun Suk, CNA's Lim Yun Suk joins us live from Andong City. That's one of the hardest hit areas in South Korea. Yun Suk, what authorities have said so far about that deadly helicopter crash this afternoon and the circumstances leading up to this incident?
Well, we haven't had much information about this helicopter or why it crashed. We know that the authorities have said that they were going to investigate this, but what we do know was that apparently this was not one of the new helicopters that they had. In fact, it was built in 1995. Now, we also know that one of the witnesses apparently told the local media that he saw the helicopter being entangled in some kind of wires before he saw the helicopter crash. The authorities say they will investigate this, but right now, trying to find out why that helicopter crashed is not the priority for them, as they are trying to contain this fire that is spreading very quickly around this Gyeongsang province here in South Korea. Now, yes, I am here in Andong City, where right now there has been an alert out for many of the residents to evacuate from one of the traditional houses here, village here called Hawe village. Village, and that is a traditional Korean village where many of the people there still live, and they live the way that they have from over 600 years. And so that is a UNESCO site, and right now there is an alert out asking those residents there to evacuate, and also in some of the areas around that place. Now, authorities here say that, so far they've only been able to contain about 67% of the fire around this Gyeongsang province, and that's because they've been having difficulty because of this gusty wind here around this province, and also because of the dry season. Now, South Korea has been experiencing very unusual, dry season in recent years. And in fact, the last time South Korea had any kind of rainfall was in early March. And so it's been about 3 weeks. Now, there was some good news saying that they would have some kind of, there would be rainfall early tomorrow morning. So we'll wait for that. But right now, there are concerns that this fire is spreading very quickly around this area.
All right, Yun Suk, you mentioned the anxieties of those living in very old houses where you are in Andong City. So not just a general anxiety, the tragedy, the loss of life with wildfires like these, but also concerns about conserving South Korea's national heritage.
Well, yes, definitely, because, Andong City is known to be a rich cultural, traditional city here in South Korea. And, many of the houses here are the way that they were built. We call them hanok, the traditional houses. And so many of them still live there, and they still maintain the way of living that they have for hundreds of years. And that's why trying to preserve that is a priority for many of the firefighters here. And in fact, I am here in the Andong Gymnasium, where you can see behind me many of the residents who have been evacuating, and you can see that they're all seated there, and they're elderly Koreans who are just really watching the news, trying to get the latest information, because many of them were saying that they had to leave their house very quickly, and one lady was saying that she didn't even have time to get her medication, which she badly needs. And so they were saying that they really had to leave their houses in a hurry. There were no time to get anything, and I think a lot of the residents are feeling the same. They say say that they won't be able to go to sleep tonight because they're worried whether there'll be any houses left, their houses left to be able to go back to. And so right now, the priority for the South Korean authorities is to ensure that there are no more deaths here in South Korea in this region, but also to preserve those heritage because, they're priceless. And right now, there are many of them here in Andong City, and we are getting word that they are trying to secure that area around many of those cultural the heritages here in Andong City.
Oh, thanks. CNA's Lim Yun Suk there reporting from one of the hardest hit areas in South Korea grappling to contain wildfires.